Alright. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on the show, and been a lot better today, so let's get right into let's just get right off into the news. So let's start with the NFL. So, didn't read this last night, but Todd Monken, or I might have, I can't remember, he kind of accepted blame for why quarterback in the Baltimore Ravens are regressing his third season as the offensive coordinator. We'll see if they keep Todd Monken. I think they might. We'll see. But yeah, he kind of accepted the blame here. So let's get to see what we have here today. So the Browns, they are interviewing Seahawks defense coordinator Aiden Dirty for today. For today, their head coach of what? Schaefer can't spell here. But yeah, they're basically having the Seahawks defense coordinator interview for their head coach opening. I mean, Seahawks defense has been really damn good this year, so we'll see what the Browns do. The Titans, they've submitted head coach requests for Chargers defense coordinator Jesse Minter and Rams defense coordinator Chris Shula. Jesse Minter is going to be a highly touted name after John Harbaugh and Kevin Stefanski whenever they get hired. I bet Jesse Minter is going to be a big name to pop up. The Titans have submitted requests for Chris Shula as well, the Rams defense coordinator. We have a new GM in Miami. The Miami Dolphins are finalizing a deal to hire Packers VP of Player Personnel, John Eric Sullivan, as their general manager, per sources. So, if you're a Dolphins fan, there's reason for optimism. He spent 22 years with the Packers. I believe, isn't it 22 years? So, I think it could be a good move for them. For their ownership, we'll see what he does as the new VP of Player Personnel. He's the son of Jerry Sullivan, the longtime NFL college coach, who retired in 2021 after more than 40 years of coaching. Sullivan's been in Green Bay since 2003. Starting as a scouting intern, he served as Packers VP of Player Personnel since 2022. And when getting the GM job, there's now only one GM opening left in the NFL, the Atlanta Falcons. So we'll see what the Falcons do. But the Dolphins one is gone. The Bucs completed a virtual interview with former Titans head coach Brian Callahan for their offensive coordinator position. Huh. The Chargers, they're listing Amarian Hampton as questionable for Sunday night's game against New England. Despite the questionable tag, here's this. He said the plan is to play. The Ravens, they've completed an interview with Clint Kubiak for their head coaching position. Josh Williams, they completed an interview with him for their president of football position. Chiefs defensive line coach John Cullen interviewed today for the Washington Commanders defensive coordinator job. The Ravens also completed another interview. They completed an interview with Kevin Stefanski for their head coaching position. I think Kevin Stefanski would have some success there. Will they hire him? I don't know. I think Kevin Stefanski's a good coach. It's just the Browns roster suck. I don't know what you expect him to do with it. Like, I'm not saying the Ravens will win the Super Bowl if they hired Kevin Stefanski, but I think he's a good coach. And the Ravens have obviously more talent than the freaking Browns do. So, Packers receiver Dontavian Wicks has been downgraded out for Sunday night's game against the Chicago Bears due to his concussion. The Eagles have their injury report for Sunday versus San Francisco. So Lane Johnson, questionable. I think he had limited practice. Kobe Dean, Dickerson, Goddard, Jalen Phillips, Azeez Ojulari were full practices, so that's their injury report. So pretty much basically everybody's going to play. Lane Johnson we'll see, but I think he'll end up playing. Anything from JP Football here? Not really. See if anything from Rappaport. Scroll here. See if we have anything from Ian right here. Now we have something from Garofalo, the Lions. They will interview Seahawks passing game coordinator Jake Peets for their offensive coordinator job. Source says he's worked closely with Sean McVay with the Rams and now with Clint Kubiak in Seattle. He interviewed for the Bucs offensive coordinator job last year and back in the mix again. That's from Mike Garofalo. From Tom Pelissero, former Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel scheduled to interview for the Titans head coaching job next Wednesday. Per sources, there's significant interest. And McDaniel, since Miami fired him Thursday, so there's another interview for the Titans. Commanders interview Cardinals pass game coordinator / wide receivers coach Drew Terrell for their vacant offensive coordinator job. The Browns have requested an interview with Jesse Minter for their head coaching job. The Cowboys will conduct their first round of defensive coordinator interviews today, speaking with the Vikings defensive pass game coordinator Deontay Jones and Browns safeties coach Ephraim Banda. Then they'll speak with the Broncos defensive pass game coordinator Jim Leonard tomorrow. I've been hearing some very good things about him. If he actually wants a job in the end, he'll be a top 2 or 3 files. I guarantee you, these are Brian Schottenheimer picks. These are not Jerry Jones picks. Jerry Jones probably doesn't know who the fuck these guys are. So these are definitely Schottenheimer picks. I've been hearing a lot of good things about Jim Leonard. I think that's who they should end up hiring him. That's who they should hire. That's just me. The Ravens, they've requested to interview Bills offensive coordinator Joe Brady for their head coaching position. Source says he can interview after Buffalo plays this week. But I think that's all the news here for the NFL here today on a damn Friday. So let's move on to wrestling news. I haven't watched wrestling for SmackDown yet. I think it was on at like 2 o'clock today, but I'll watch it in a little bit. I'm probably gonna watch the replay. And I'll come on here in a little bit and then recap it. So Nick Aldis announced that next week there'll be 4 qualifying matches, number 1 contenders qualifying matches for the Undisputed Championship. So it'll be Randy Orton versus The Miz, Matt Cardona versus Trick Williams, Damian Priest versus Solo Sikoa, and Sami Zayn versus Ilya Dragunov. The 4 winners of those singles matches will go on to compete in a fatal 4-way at Saturday night's main event. The winner challenges for the Undisputed Championship at the Royal Rumble. They're gonna do They're probably gonna do Randy versus Drew or Cody, whoever wins that SmackDown match in the 3 stages of hell for the championship. Jordynne Grace, she's officially joined SmackDown. AJ Styles, he will officially return to TNA next week when it debuts on AMC. Stephanie Vaquer showed an image of her injury, like I think it's a bruised ankle. So this is via one, so take it with a grain of salt, but WWE reportedly sees Javon Evans as someone who can be a star, not a franchise star. I mean, it's pretty clear when they didn't show him signing his contract, they had it on commercial. This is from one, though, so take it with a grain of salt. There's reportedly a push internally from multiple personnel to have Drew McIntyre win the championship over Cody Rhodes. Well, I mean, obviously I saw the spoilers, but I'm not going to share them here. I'm just going to watch the show on my own. Just saw some spoilers, but I'm going to watch the show on my own and see what I think. So that was some news right there. Though what was advertised for the show, Cody and Drew in the 3 stages of hell, the Wyatt Six versus the My Family Tree, Ray Phoenix versus Trick Williams. So there's reportedly creative pushes for Obafemi to be showcased prominently at WrestleMania 42 in April via WrestleVotes, Radio and Fightful Select. This is from Logan Paul on his YouTube. He said he signed a new long-term contract with WWE. There have reportedly been discussions for Lola Vice to potentially be called up to the main roster. So there's some discussions right there. Obafemi is reportedly being discussed for creative plans on Monday Night Raw. So now they're saying he might be on Monday Night Raw. I guess. I mean, I'd rather him be on SmackDown, but I guess they see him as like a super huge star, so they want to get the star, another huge star of Monday Night Raw. So, yeah, I mean, that's fine. This is also from the Wrestling Observer. Apparently, Tiffany Stratton's dealing with an injury. I don't know what injury, but apparently she's dealing with an injury. So, WWE reported believe that Oba Femi is going to be the biggest major player for the company ahead of both Trick Williams and John Evans when it comes to recent NXT call-ups. People within WWE are reportedly very high on Powerhouse Hobbs. Elton Princeton's currently out of action with a quote significant neck injury. So, all this from the Wrestling Observer, so take with a grain of salt. So apparently, Devon Dudley, he's giving more details on the racist allegations against Jim Ross. So Bruce Pritchard basically explained why WWE chooses to promote these smaller cards. You know, you don't want a lot of matches, like 12, 13 matches. Oh yeah, gotta leave 2.5, 3 hours on your show reserved for ads and promos. Chris Jericho, you know, he'd be reportedly very interested in a TNA run. Kenny Omega will return next week on AEW. But yeah, that's all the wrestling news. So let's move on here. So, for the first time, the Memphis Grizzlies are entertaining offers to potentially move two-time All-Star John Morant ahead of the February 5th NBA trading deadline. Sources tell ESPN multiple teams are pursuing Morant, and trade talks and rival executives believe the Grizzlies will prioritize draft picks and young players. Morant, 26, is under contract through the 27-28 season. They're considering multiple pass forward. And Anthony Davis, he has sustained ligament damage in his left hand. Depending on second opinion, and if surgery is required, he can miss a number of months. There's a real chance one of the prime trade targets will be signed through the trade deadline, possibly beyond, depending on the need for surgery. So now surgery's possible. Oh my Lord. And I talked about this last night. He was hurt, but I didn't think it was this bad. Oh my Lord. This guy's made out of glass, man. Now Anthony Davis is possibly going to be out for months. Oh. The Atlanta Hawks has some doubts about Onyeka Okongwu's long term. Don't know why they would have doubts about that. So the Heat, Timberwolves, and Kings have shown some interest in John Morant, per Brett Siegel. So those are some teams that have shown some interest. The Kings are the only team showing interest in Jonathan Kuminga. Don't give a shit. Trade him to the Kings. If that's the only team interested, bring me Keon Ellis. That's what it has to take. The Chicago Bulls are a team to monitor for Zion Williamson. I don't know why anybody would want to trade for this dude. I mean, he's injury prone as shit. Same with Anthony Davis. I don't understand why anybody would trade for them. Anthony Davis probably ain't going to get traded now if he has to get surgery on his hand. So, but yeah, that's the NBA news. Some news there from Shams and NBA Central. So let's get into some baseball news. So, Max Kepler, he's been suspended 80 games by Major League Baseball after testing positive for epitrimbolone. I don't know how you say it. It's some type of it's basically a performing enhancing substance per MLB announcement. Hitting 216 on PEDs. The Dodgers have agreed to terms with free agent infielder Andy Ibanez in a Major League contract. Oh yeah, man, Andy Ibanez. End quote, a scenario exists where the D-backs could still sign free agent infielder Alex Bregman even after deciding to keep Ketel Marte. Rosenthal notes, however, that it's more likely Arizona focuses on their bullpen and adding a right-handed hitting first baseman. No chance Arizona's going to get involved. But yeah, as I just mentioned, the D-backs infielder Ketel Marte will not be traded this offseason per Ken Rosenthal, so they will be keeping Ketel Marte despite trading rumors. The San Francisco Giants have agreed in terms of free agents catcher Eric Haas on a minor league contract. Oh, wonderful. Outfielder Cody Bellinger is pushing for a 7-year contract free agency. I don't know if you're going to get 7 years. Seems like a stretch. So, Tigers throwing pitcher Trek Skubal filed his arbitration number at $32 million. The Tigers filed at $19 million. I think that's got to be the biggest gap in MLB history. Not $19 million. One of the best pitchers in baseball. Well, let's file at $19 million. Morons, man. And one last thing here from Alden Gonzalez. So all 9 MLB teams have terminated their agreements with Main Street Sports, largely as a way to keeping their options open for an unstable time. The company remains in dialogue with all of them, but for now they're all free agents. 9 teams: the Braves, Marlins, Brewers, Royals, Angels, Reds, Cardinals, Rays, and Tigers. And I think one more thing is they put out the MLB schedule, I think, for opening day. I think it's going to be Pirates, Mets, and Dodgers D-backs, I think, for opening day on NBC, Peacock. They put out the schedule for those games, but yeah, that's all the news here that I wanted to talk about. So yeah, leave a like, comment, subscribe for more. Next time out. Peace.